It started, I don't know what you did. Now I'm the gal that's chasing you up. Really flip my lid. Come here, eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Well, what are you gonna do with this eager beaver, baby of mine? Yeah. I'm all there beside you, no matter where you stop. I follow you to move.
Hello,
and
welcome
to
Was That an Orgy? Woo! Was it?
Was it?
That's the burning question. Was that a fucking orgy or not?
Talk about inappropriate.
Yes.
I mean, really.
Yes.
Sister, daughter,
I
strange
know.
person we picked up on the corner.
I
mean,
just was on the street. They were like, hey, you want to be on a
I know.
podcast?
We're
I was
like,
yeah.
hey,
sure.
you look smart. Come hang out with us, right?
You look like you were raised in a polyamorous atmosphere. Well, you want to be on our podcast?
I just want to say, I just realized that nobody on the TikTok live is going to hear the music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! It's just gonna be like everyone just monkeying out. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Right. I didn't
right.
think about that.
We are also live on TikTok. It is
Yeah.
Lady Boner 3R.
Yeah.
They can't
Lady
see
Boner
me though.
3R.
All they can see
Yeah.
is my hand.
Yeah.
We're
That's
hiding
me,
you
that's
for
all.
a reason, TT.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
I know.
You're an embarrassment.
I
We
know.
didn't want to have that
Just
conversation.
terrible accident I recovered from. No one wants to look at me.
So we are here to talk about sex positivity.
Sex.
Mostly,
sex.
not too much sex, Zoe. Again,
okay.
I'm your mother.
Yeah.
I know there are things I don't want to know, for real.
Yeah. I'm your aunt too. Like
yeah.
don't put images in my head. I can't get out.
He's fine though.
So,
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, we can go
I'm-
graphic.
yeah.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have consent
To what?
for us to at least say whatever we want?
Oh, yeah.
in the
of course.
parameters. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to look at the questionnaire about trigger words and stuff like that. So
Trigger warning.
yeah, trigger words. So if you guys have any trigger words, it's too late.
Shout
but-
them out right now.
Yeah, shout them out.
I'm just going to
I
say
hate
it.
this word.
If
Yeah.
there's a trigger warning on this podcast, it's going to be if you have anyone in your household with ADHD. There's so much of it in this room.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's overwhelming.
It's 3/4
Even
of
for
the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
3/4.
No, it's 4 out of 4. Wait, who does anyone not have it? Here?
I supposedly do not have it, but
So-
I think it sounds
I
like
think
you have a
you do.
different opinion of me.
Well,
Yeah.
if you consider the nature and nurture aspects of ADD, I mean, having a father with it and a sister with it, you've at least have
It
some
rubs
rubs
off.
rubbed off on ya.
I caught it through osmosis. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to have it. I'm proud.
Yeah.
I wear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason, both of your husbands had ADD. You grew up with this fucking inbred monkey. And
Both of my husbands. It sounds like I was married to them at the same time.
she's
That's
married
awesome.
to everybody.
I
Yeah,
just,
no.
I just
Both of your
anyone want to sign
ex-husbands.
up? I've got another spot
Yes.
for another husband right now.
Exactly. Step right up. Fill a hole.
Okay.
Fill all the
There you
holes.
go. All right, so-
Oh, what?
So let's just jump right into it.
That's what we do.
Oh, by the way, in case you didn't notice, this show is going to be inappropriate for young listeners and very sensitive listeners because it's called Was That an Orgy? So go ahead and put your earbuds in if you haven't already, or turn your volume down while you put in
If
your
you're
earbuds.
at work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
don't even.
Probably don't want to have this blasting through the office station or anything
Grab
like
the
that.
popcorn.
Unless you work at Fantasy Video or Taboo or any of our future sponsorship relationships.
In which case, we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
We do.
Thanks for all the tasty lube.
We love to eat your lube.
Apparently.
I put it on hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, that was these sauerkraut and mustard flavored lube that you put on your hot dogs. Yeah, it's so good. Good, yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
So I guess we should introduce these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
We didn't
God.
do that yet.
Today, Charlene and Teresa are going to be talking to Zoe and Ethan.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, and we're super excited to have them here today. They are, they're obviously younger adults. They're both generations.
Adults is a strong word.
Yeah.
You
They're
don't
legal.
identify.
They're basically legal now, but
Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's moral.
Legal does not equal moral.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
draw a distinct differentiation.
And even our bodies just get big, but maturity is kind of like an intention. We have to kind of cultivate that on our own. So we won't talk about how old and immature I am. So
12-year-old
We won't.
boy at heart.
yeah, exactly.
Always.
I said we weren't going to talk about it, guys.
Yeah.
So Ethan and Zoe. Wait.
And
You already went over where Gen Zers with the.
I tried.
You go ahead. You got it. Go, Ethan. You got
okay,
this.
I'll host the
Intro, I love
podcast
it.
now. This
Do
is
it.
my podcast. Not just hit the table, so I just.
Fly your pirate flag.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah, you just pirate jacked the table is all you do. Like, you
Just don't hit it. Remember, that's really loud.
Yeah. So, my invitation to be on this podcast was to be a part of, to be an example of, younger adults who have grown up in a non-monogamous household and just sharing that experience and getting different perspectives out there.
Yeah, because I think that's a huge consideration, that when couples are thinking about opening up their relationship, or even as an adult, just like deciding what relationship style, if you have kids, your first thought really is going to be, how are the kids going to take this? What's this going to do to my children?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they going to be okay? Are they going to be able to be successful in this world? Will they, will this influence them in positive or negative ways? And I think that's what we're really interested in talking about here is like, and by the way, just because you're my daughter, it's okay to say negative things about your experience.
Totally.
I'm not going to hold this against you.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I out her all the time. So we out each other. So yeah.
Yeah.
ruined my life.
Oh, just you wait. I haven't even started.
And well, the other thing too is like, I think that there's a lot of fear that people have in our culture, this mononormative culture,
Yes.
about having, basically children becoming victims of discrimination if their parents open up. And I think that that's something that inquiring minds want to know from you youngsters, is like what your experience has been like, like when your parents kind of, introduced you to the reality of what was going on. And I'm even curious, like, when did you catch on to what was going on? When did they introduce you to the circumstances versus how long had they been doing it? If you know that. Maybe you don't know.
I don't know that. But
okay.
what I do remember is I think because I was just thinking about this before you started talking. I was like, well, I think I was 14 or 15 when my dad was like, so like, have you ever heard of the term open relationship? And he says that he didn't take me camping to have that conversation, but that's what I fully believe.
You can't get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you heard of it? I'm curious.
So, yeah, that's one thing that I was thinking about before coming over here that I think is interesting about my experience, is that I think such a big part of how, younger people react to it is the internet, which is obviously a cliche, but it's like, having unrestricted access to the internet when you're that young, it's like not the obvious thing, but like also, thinking about, you just hear all these different like jokes, whether it's jokes or people who are trying to actually get a message out there. So I had already heard of what an open relationship is before my dad even introduced it to me. And so I was just like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like, that's just what it is.
And is it okay? You can say no, but is it okay to say what your present age is now?
I'm 19.
Okay, so 5 years.
5
ago.
years of
knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
How did you respond when he first talked to you about it? Like, what were your feelings and reactions?
Yeah, I mean, I think at that age I was, like, I might have even been 13. I can't remember, but I think at that age I was definitely like, just so. Like, I didn't even process things like that deeply. I was just like, okay, whatever. Just let me go play my Minecraft, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I was like.
Whatever you say. So open-minded.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you feel like you were in a pretty open-minded state. You didn't have like an emotional reaction that you
No,
remember
not
that
at
was
all,
like,
no.
what? No,
Yeah.
our little tight family. It's
Yeah.
going to be ruined. You're
Well,
just
my
like,
parents
I
were
trust
already
you guys.
divorced at that point, so I was like, that was kind of over for me. I was like,
Oh.
this has moved on, and so it's kind of just like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I won't mention names, but now I'm like putting, thinking about the people like your parents, and I'm like, is one of the parents I met of yours your biological parent?
Yes.
Yeah,
my mother.
We don't
yes.
have to say names. Okay,
No.
just checking. But yeah, okay. So gotcha. So they did divorce, and your father didn't pursue a life of open relationships, but your mother did.
Opposite.
Oh, Ow.
You know my father, right?
Oh, that's your okay. I thought you just said your mother. Okay, sorry. So yeah. Okay, so I know your father.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. All right, gotcha. And what about you, Zomo?
So I don't remember the exact day or anything, but I remember that you were with our stepdad at the time, and you would go to like meetings and stuff, SPP stuff, which is super cool to me. As soon as I found out, I'm like, you go, bitch, do your thing.
I remember that.
I haven't heard Zoe have a reaction other than that to anything yet.
yeah, right.
Oh yeah, just you wait till we bring out the tuna casserole. She's gonna be like, oh God, gross.
It grew on me, okay?
Yeah, I do remember that you were super positive about it, and I think maybe it was because I had so much enthusiasm for it, and like,
Yeah.
I think you called it my glow up.
Oh my God, it totally was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you even came out to me before I came out to you, so like, there is like not even a difference. Like,
Really, was that a thing like that developed for you separate from learning about it from your mom?
I don't even know, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to like disentangle those things because it's like we all influence each other's decisions so much when we're growing up in a household.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm growing up at the same time as you at 29
We
and a
all
half.
raise each other.
Just
We
kidding.
all raise each other.
We
I'm going to
do.
quote myself. Yeah, it's true.
And
Yeah.
let's raise each other
Up.
elevate. Yes, that's
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. But I'm curious, Zomo. So
Bless you.
when you say she came out to her right before you came out to her,
Yeah.
Are you talking-
Do you mean and if you want to share in what ways, like?
Am I allowed to out you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm out. by the
Okay.
way. Yeah.
So she came out to me as Pan, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, me too.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was in high school, I'm pretty sure.
that you came out as Pan or me?
That you told me.
That would have been like maybe right after middle school, beginning of high school. Yeah,
Okay,
that
yeah.
you were. Yeah, and I think I told you all the. Well, I might have mentioned being bisexual before I knew that pansexual was even a thing.
Yeah.
And so I think I probably told you about that, and then it, being monogamous and being bisexual is confusing because you're kind of like, oh well, I have these attractions, but I don't really exercise
Like
the
the whole
desires.
half of
Yeah.
it is inactivated. Kind
Yeah, you kind of, it's kind of like the same desires that you have for someone of the opposite sex that you're attracted to. You're like, oh, I got to shut that off so that I don't do anything ridiculous.
Right.
But then once we opened up the relationship, it was like, ooh, and now I can, now I can get back into this other side as well. And so I think I did kind of redisclose, like being pansexual and having an open relationship at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
That was.
Gotcha. Thanks. I just wanted the details because it's like, yeah, I understand
It
that.
could mean anything.
Well, and human sexuality is so different right now than it's ever been before. There's again, the more everyone in the LGBTQ, God, I can't remember the enther acronym as I'm supposed to say it these days. Oh, so many letters. Oh, dyslexia. You mock me. But yeah, the things are opening up so much. There's so much more acceptance and invitation to explore. So I was definitely surprised at hearing my niece's experience and embracing that at such a young age, and even schooling me like it's called this now on TT when you guys are like really little, and and having kind of trans friends, when you were really young, like 12 even, something like that.
Middle school.
So
I think.
yeah.
You did, and like I think actually the first couple of people you dated were trans.
Yeah,
one
first
me-male
two.
to me-male.
Me-male. Me-male to female.
Female. Bro.
Wait, is this a new term I should be using? A
Yes,
me-male?
and I can't believe you didn't know that.
Oh my god! Outing me in
public.
Male to female and female to male. You
Yeah.
dated, like, those were your
Yeah.
first two relationships at your school.
Uh-huh.
First male to female and then female to male.
So me, male, and female, that's not a real term.
No, that's just
Okay,
me
just
being
checking.
an idiot.
Because I am just that idiot that would just start just spreading the gospel to everybody. Let me school ya.
And just in case anyone, pansexual, I think that could still be a new term for some people.
You don't want to fuck pans.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we're into goat
By the way.
people.
Yeah.
by the way.
But is pansexual just like, so I think that these terms are changing in their meaning over time. They're being appropriated. But it's like when I was younger, like, when we were in our 20s, I definitely went through an era where I started like self-educating a little bit more, exploring a little bit more. And I remember like I even hit this wall where like I was kind of like experimenting with some lovely lady, and then I just remember like thinking like, oh fucking shit, god damn it, I'm a lesbian now. Now on top of dyslexia, ADD, tard,
Lesbianism.
yeah, now I have to deal with this, another form that I can be like
Another
discriminated
title.
with,
Yeah.
so
Well,
but I remember pansexual as being like, back then it just meant I'm just sexual, whatever.
Right.
So that could include
that-
pans.
Yeah.
If I want to fuck a pan, I'm gonna fuck a pan.
guess it
Or if
could.
I want to fuck a, what do you call them? Not satyrs, like the pan
flute?
with the flute playing goat man. Pan.
I think that is a pan.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
but no, there's a name for that, isn't
Oh,
there?
I'm not
Now, a
gonna come up
satyr
with
is
it.
the half horse, guy.
That's a minotaur, isn't it?
I'm
Wait,
so lost.
maybe this is a satyr then. Someone write in and please school us. Because
Yeah,
this
please.
is ridiculous.
We don't know the difference.
Yeah,
All we
like-
know is that the minotaurs have huge penises.
That's probably
Yeah.
true. Hung like a horse, you might say.
One might say because a minotaur that was the other way and had like a horse head and a man's lower
Oh,
half,
that would
that'd
be so sad. That would be the most depressed, ashamed horse, Taraman or whatever you'd call him.
Wait, so
Tartar.
I'm sorry, I spaced out. You said a man's body in a horse's head.
Yeah.
If it was
I
the
like that.
opposite of a minotaur. Yeah.
Sexy.
Oh,
Probably wouldn't be able to
sad.
support his own weight. He'd just be-
Womp, womp. Oh my God,
But I
totally
wanted-
holding up his head with his hands the whole time. Yeah.
But like to get back to pansexuality, I think that what that does is it acknowledges that like that gender isn't just binary and that attraction isn't just binary, and it's not like, oh, I like men and women. It could be when you're pansexual, you're like, oh, well, I might like someone who's transsexual, female to male or male to female, or
Yes,
someone who's
sir.
non-binary, or so it opens the door for other possibilities and acknowledges, hey, they aren't just like, it's not like an on-off switch.
I think
Gotcha.
also there's a lot of people who would feel that way, but a label isn't really important to them. It's like
Right.
someone
Yeah.
who might think their whole life like, oh, I'm bisexual, and then they meet a specific person. They're just like they don't even know. They're just, it's just like, whatever. It just
Yeah.
depends on the person.
Right.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
There's a lot of people too, like myself, that I'm very uncomfortable with labels. Because I
Yeah.
just want to be able to be authentic. I want to, grow and explore and be present with who I am and how I feel in every present moment, and not have to fit into a box of any kind.
I think a big part of why I think a lot of people feel that way is just how the internet works. Is like everything is so short, and there's time limits on platforms, and so it's like people feel that like labels are the only way to get that message across over the internet, and and then people just end up disagreeing with each other on like what the labels even mean, even if you think that you're on the same side or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's sad to me too how much like infighting and
it's insane.
Yeah. That's the one thing that, like, a passion that I have deep inside more than just any other is I just wish that in schools we would start teaching like nonviolent communication to everybody, so that we can start to, in this opening up process, instead of infighting and reacting with this like cancel culture like behavior, that we can start to really open up in a loving way and having a conscious, conscientious conversation about the unfolding of humanity. We're in an amazing time, and I think part of it is because of the interwebs
Yeah.
and like how, you know, it's just really opening us all up and affirming all of our individual.
Everyone's
you
in
know,
their own echo chamber too, and it's funny that you even say cancel culture because then that term gets politicized. It's like every
huge,
label for
yeah,
anything that you can think of is going to become politicized, like one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that's one of the glorious things too about like if we were to teach like, you know, nonviolent communication in schools, learning how to be very aware of the terms that we use that can, and you know, kind of fan the flames of war-like communication of, you know, how we polarize things, good, bad, right, wrong. You know, that's the war of it. Anyway, I squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something that your generation in particular has been really great at is like you're higher. It seems like you're all kind of more aware of how your actions affect on a global scale. And then also, I think your communication skills are in general much greater than they were than you know us at your age, for sure. Like I know that about both of you
Yeah.
at least. I can't say that
Depends.
for everyone, but
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, because it can be better in some ways and worse in other ways, and I'm trying not to talk over everybody and talk so much and take up too much
No,
space.
do it.
But it's like, you know.
Oh, look at me. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm Zoe isn't getting to be able to say anything.
It's going to take a little war to get in this room in any way, so
Yeah.
just
That.
jump in
You gotta
there.
jump in.
Yeah, feel free to interrupt me. But,
Yeah, me too.
It's like, you know, I think one big part of that is like everyone who's my age growing up has had to contend with the fact that a large portion of the discussions they have with other people outside of their own bubble is controlled by and on a platform where people are trying to make money off of it, and that's their main
Right.
goal, is to make money, is to keep you on the platform, whether it's arguing or whether it's making you depressed. It's like they don't care, they just want you to keep engaging.
Yeah.
Super true, TikTok. Hey, we're
Oh
looking
yeah, well, I'm on TikTok, by the way. Fuck
Yeah.
TikTok.
we love you. Hi.
Yeah. Just kidding. Yeah, sponsor us. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
We're
kidding. not
very
kidding.
rebellious. You can never have our hearts.
You don't own me. You don't own me.
No, I think that's a great point, though, is that like, that to be heard, you do have to go onto a platform which is monetized,
Exactly.
and that is, wow, that's super powerful. Because I don't know, like we had to rely on what gossip, like
Yeah,
if
right.
we were gonna do some character assassination, we'd have to be like, oh my god, can you believe so and so, and like play the telephone game with a bunch of people. And it wasn't like you couldn't just blast something out there. Like there was absolutely no way to do it.
Yeah, and bullying was almost always live, you know, in your face.
Oh, totally.
I mean, you know, or in person rather, you know, but
yeah.
yeah.
It involved a punch to the gut.
Oh
Lots
I'd
of
rather
times.
get a punch in the gut, because a punch in the gut doesn't follow you home and live on
Oh,
your
God.
screen
You
24/7.
are
So
right.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of go home and you're like, that sucked.
And then
I'll
you
eat
get
some
over
ice
it.
cream.
Yeah, right. Instead of it going viral.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. So, like, when you both had the experience of your parents coming out, if you had any fears about other people finding out, or actually, like, because society's changed so much, did it almost even seem cool in today's contemporary culture? Like, how was that for you?
I was proud of that shit.
Ah,
I really was.
Okay. Wait, and how old were you again? 14?
I think so.
Okay,
Like just
yeah.
out of middle school.
But
so,
but it
yeah.
felt cool. It didn't feel like something
Yeah.
you had to hide.
Not at all.
Wow, that's cool.
Like I was just super proud of my mom. Like she found what she wanted and it works for her. So.
That's so
Thanks, dude.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you then ever have any repercussions to that? Like notice gossiping or,
No.
you know,
Not at all.
did you even get praise? Like where people like, man, your mom's so cool with an ethical slut. I can't believe it. No.
I didn't really like tell anyone about it. Like
Uh-huh.
I mean, I didn't like keep it on the low, but it wasn't like a thing that I would go around telling people.
People
Yeah.
don't talk about their parents' sex lives a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say, like, there's gossip about the other kids, not the other kids' moms.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Although
gonna
I don't
fuck
know.
mom.
Like I thought I kind of liked, you know, outing our parents and like, you know, spreading gossip to a bunch of my friends because it was like entertaining, you know.
yeah, at least it's not me, it's my
Yeah.
parents.
Totally. Talking about, you know, dad's disco dates that he'd take home and like, you know,
Yeah,
all mom's like, you know, My Secret Garden porno books and stuff. Sorry,
Man,
mom.
that book was so good.
Those books were awesome.
Yeah,
that
My Secret
actually
Garden.
happened.
Yeah, There was a book called My Secret Garden, and it was all like, it was all women's fantasies, and it was like, I swear it was total masturbation material. And then Dad, when he went through his dating phase, we called him Disco Duck, because he would go out like dancing and like disco duck.
Oh my god.
It looks
We have
like we got a
questions.
question.
Question.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna read them like Becky.
Okay,
Oh my god, Becky.
Becky is so
Whoever asked that question.
Yeah, I know
What?
exactly.
You're about to mock their voice.
Yeah, don't mock their voice.
Yeah,
dude.
I won't say who it is, but one question is, did you notice other kids who had non-traditional relationships? I assume this person means your parents, but maybe not. Did you get the vibe from the other kids whose parents numbered more than 2? Did you get a vibe
Oh yeah, so
from the
like,
kids whose parents numbered more than 2?
So like polyamorous parents or whatever. Yeah, or open.
And then we'll
a
get
good
back
question.
to your experience. We kind of
Yeah,
skipped
no.
you. Sorry about
No,
that.
don't worry about skipping me. Like I said, I tend to take up too much space just on accident. so
Why?
feel
You're
free.
good. You're good.
I disagree. Hit the
Yeah.
buzzer. But anyway, go ahead and feel free
you
to
can
answer this
address
question.
that.
Well, I didn't really like have a lot of friends that had poly parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even remember a single friend that I had that had poly parents. I would
Right.
have no idea.
Yeah,
None
that's the
that I
thing.
knew of.
I think in high school, it's like you just don't really talk about it. It's just
Yeah.
like it's
Right. Right.
Too
We're
much
too
shit going
self-absorbed
on
for
to-
that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Right.
Yeah, and you guys could have been lucky that your parents came out while you were in high school. It could be a different
Yeah.
experience for people that are in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
They're savages, dude.
Savages.
Middle school are
Seriously.
the most savage for sure.
Oh,
So-
horrible.
Yeah.
Continuing parts of this question this person had is like, did you end up at picnics or barbecues where other kids of non-monogamous parents were?
Well, not through like school, but definitely through my parents. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I never would have, seen someone just in normal life and been like, you probably have, this is probably your parents. But then when I started being more in these environments and meeting people like you and Zoe, I'm like, oh, I see kind of commonalities between people that are in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the parent. I think it's not so much the kids find each other; it's that the parents find each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
Right.
Whether it's
As they do.
romantic or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if it's just like, hey, we're all polyamorous and we don't date each other, but we like have this thing in common, and then the kids all wind up spending time together, and that's like,
Yeah.
It's like the new like suburban like play dates. It's like
Kinda
Right.
when you're in
is.
kindergarten, like your friends are the people that your parents' friends. are
Right,
friends with.
exactly.
Totally, yeah,
Yeah, one of
that's
my
it.
one of my friends, he had 2 lesbian moms. He was raised by 2 lesbian moms growing up, and so he talked about that, about what it was like. Because I think that he was, I can't remember at what age his mom got a partner and was raised by the 2 lesbian moms, but he was talking about what a relief it was for the moms to be able to, this is in the 80s, to
Right.
be able to finally have some semblance of normal social support and family interactions, like picnics, and so that's another recent sort of emerging, blossoming aspect of all of this. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
There's another couple of questions, if I can just go to those.
Yeah.
One
Damn.
says, do you think they look at this chat? Yes, that's the answer to that question. Okay, at this time, do they have a feeling about what kind of relationship they might pursue, mono, Emma, etc.?
Yes,
oh,
sir.
so interesting.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So
Oh, it says E&M. Sorry. This
Ethical
person, yeah, it says, I was like, what's Emma? I don't even know that. But they said, and then they wrote back, E&M. Sorry, fat fingers.
So that's ethical non-monogamy.
chode fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, chode
Yeah.
fingers.
Chode fingers.
Thank you, chode fingers. Yeah, ethical non-monogamy. So yeah, I'd love to hear one of you take that up, and then hear from the
Want to
other.
rock, paper, scissors for it?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it. Why not?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rochambeau.
I actually thought we were gonna go on 4, so
Well,
I just didn't
then
form
you
one yet.
won.
But that's
Yeah, you
actually
won.
not what happened. I chose rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
did.
you won.
So,
You totally won.
Yeah. So I think for me, it doesn't have, like, my parents' relationship didn't have that much of an influence on it. More so just like my own experience. But I think one thing that helped is just knowing that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because and also now, like, my current relationship is non-monogamous, and this is actually my first experience with that, and it's actually not even something I planned to do. It was just like I met this person and it felt right, and it was like, okay, let's try this out. I mean, I might as well do it, you know, the world's gonna end soon, so it's like you might as well like have every
optimistic.
I mean, I feel like for some people, you know, it's like, oh, I could never do that, but it's like you never know until you try it, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and you learn that it doesn't work, and you know why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yep.
But definitely for me, it is a big help having my dad there, who's like been doing this for 6 years or longer. I don't even know how long, and being like, oh, okay, Dad, like, this is what's going on. Like, what do I do about this?
Yeah, right. And it must have been nice, I imagine. One benefit is that you guys didn't have to be afraid of coming out to your parents
Oh, not
in
at all.
Oh my
your
gosh, yeah.
unconventional relationship views or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Me, no.
You'd probably be
My-
more scared to come out as like politically conservative or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm coming out as a straight white male, and I'm proud.
That's right.
Alpha male.
One woman, one man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something really
Oh, sorry.
thoughtful, and then I forgot. No, it's not your fault at all.
It'll come back.
It probably will come back
Yeah.
at the very end. When
Something
we're, like, wrapping up.
poignant
You'll be like,
till you
"Oh,
were
yeah."
derailed. Till you were derailed by the Bawd Bonobo sisters once
That's right.
again.
Throwing our shit as usual.
Yep.
So Zoe, how about you? What about your relationship style?
My last relationship was actually my first open relationship. And honestly, I don't really date anymore. So I just like having friends, you know,
With benefits.
with love benefits.
Okay.
For sure.
So I guess like that would bring up another question is like, what do you consider dating then? Like, do you know, because
I just don't like labels. That's
yeah,
literally it.
yeah. I guess it could
Yeah.
be confusing, you know, to a listener, even your aunt sitting across from
Yeah.
you. Like, what do you mean you don't date? Does that mean you don't go into movies with anyone and share a
Yeah.
root beer? You just get right to fucking or something? Or
Only go on
Well,
dates.
there's go on dates versus
Yeah.
like dating.
That's what it is. Yeah, I
okay.
only like to go on dates, and like if I were to ever get back into a relationship, it would also be an open relationship.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Don't want to close any doors, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Just be present. Feel how you feel. You do you, boo.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of a relationship anarchy mentality where you're like, I don't want to close any doors, but you might wind up only seeing one person, but at least the door is always open for you to see other people.
Totally.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to say that this door is closed. We're going to leave this open, and there's an understanding that it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I did just first see, somehow, you know how like Siri is always listening, and all of a sudden in my Facebook feed, or maybe it was YouTube, it just like ads started coming up for actually like a beyond monogamous dating app that it's here. It's
Fucking
here.
stalker.
Yeah, I know, right?
God.
Yeah, I know. Siri,
Get
come
out of
on.
my head.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's out there, which I find kind of hopeful, because that is one of the things that I think being a single lady is that coming out with this label that you don't want to have limit your potential relationships. Again, if you were truly like an anarchist, it's like, I'm me, damn it, and I want to do who I want, when I want, the way I want.
Yes,
And like if I decide tomorrow I want to get married and but on a private island, live there together, one man, one woman, I want to do that. But if I
Totally.
want to I just want to do whatever I want when I want to do it. So
Yeah.
it's nice that there is like a dating app now. God, we should hit them up as a sponsor. Like, look at this
Oh my
promotion
God,
I'm
yeah.
making.
Damn.
Dang.
What is
Actually,
it called?
I knew a guy who got sponsored by a dating app very recently. I'm trying to like tiptoe around because like I want to reveal any private information.
Yeah.
But it was this guy who my girlfriend knew, and he met this girl on Bumble that like he knew in middle school or something. I don't remember the whole story. But then like the dating app Bumble, like they paid for them to go on this like private helicopter ride because it was kind of a cute story.
Oh my
that
God,
they
I
posted
want to
on
get
TikTok.
sponsored so bad.
But then they broke up because it was too much pressure.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, I mean, you got to think of it as like if your relationship starts with we have all these eyes on us and we're being paid to go
Totally.
like do things.
Yeah.
You have to be a major exhibitionist to be into that. Like,
Yeah,
where you're
sure.
like,
You should hit him up.
nothing,
Yeah.
Mom, nothing.
No, she already knows.
Hi, Grandma.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I think is interesting about this. Now I'll out your mom. Like, do you know that, like, she got her start when she was, like, 15, you know?
Really?
Like, just being, like, Miss Open, pansexual, biznatch, like, early on. And it totally gave me, like, distorted expectations of my puberty and, you know, near future. I was like, yeah, I'm next. All right.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to start having orgies at 15.
Right.
Whoa.
Who's
Yeah. Is
that
starting
good for
that?
Yeah. What?
Do you think that was good for you?
Oh,
Like as a kid?
Well, there's different reactions I have. On the one hand, yes, because I loved Shar and I admired her and always looked up to her, and you know, so she was just this like really out there person who just always had a strong sort of permission that she gave herself to be who she was,
Yeah.
do what and who she wanted when she wanted. And that helped to give me that same permission, because if she weren't like that, I probably wouldn't have, you know, been as open as I am from a really
God.
early age.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yay.
Yeah. So there's that aspect. But the way it wasn't good for me is it did raise my expectations way too much. And being like at the time, really painfully insecure, introverted little sister, things didn't work out for me in that way. I was not the person invited to orgies ever. So,
Well, I was the person like making the invitations, and that would have been creepy.
oh yeah. No, I'm glad it worked
Sis.
out this way.
Well,
Yeah.
Really good question. If you want me to read it to you.
let's do it.
Yeah,
I
get
love
it.
it. Give us a question, Michael.
Okay, it says Z and E. You have you felt jealousy while being
Yes.
in a non-monogamous relationship, and how do you feel jealousy factors into a non-monogamous relationship
Yes.
in general?
So
Good question.
well,
thank you.
yeah, this is something that my stepmom was saying, and she's like Miss Polyamorous. Is like there's such a huge misconception amongst, you know, people outside looking into non-monogamy that's like, oh, all these people just have some sort of switch that it's just like, oh, it's all free love and it's all great, when it's like not at all.
Right.
Like, you know, even if this is how your brain works in a relationship and this is the best thing for you, even like outside of your brain and just your physical body, like, you know, if something happens and like you weren't expecting it or something, like your natural reaction is just to be like, this is wrong, like this shouldn't
Get
happen.
triggered, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and deal with that. I think that's a really great point, is that's one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have about polyamorous culture, is that, you know, oh, they're just these like, you know, slutty superheroes that don't experience
No
jealousy
jealousy.
or anything like that.
And it's so much
And-
less work because you're not committed. No.
Yeah.
Twice as much work.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's it. Is that you know, that's one of the aspects of going beyond monogamy or being polyamorous that a lot of people don't realize, is that you're actually willing to take on even more. That
Yeah.
you know, basically you have to create a practice out of compersion, and compersion is, you know, what they say, it's the opposite of jealousy, where you're trying to, you know, get over that primal fear of being abandoned by this person who's your like attachment source that gives you so much security, and you're trying to actually get over yourself, get over the fear. Like a lot of jealousy comes down to the subconscious fear of being abandoned and having this attachment source taken away from you. And so you're intentionally practicing on not stewing in your own emotions and imagining the person, your beloved, enjoying themselves and being happy for them, being happy for
Absolutely,
your lover, your beloved, and whoever their, you know, their lover of the moment is. And that takes a lot of work. It's not easy.
It's funny how that works too, because my current partner is married, in an open marriage, obviously, and so I'm kind of her secondary partner, and she is my primary partner right now. And it's funny how it works, because it's like, you know, there's never any jealousy between me and her husband, because it's like, I know that that's not competitive. It's like it makes a difference kind of because it's on a piece of paper. It's like that's just what it is. Like I met your husband the same, like in the same 45 minutes that I met you. But then when it's like, oh, there's a new person that's not in that, it's like you kind of have, at least me personally, I'm just kind of like, that's something that is the only area where jealousy comes into play for me.
I think that's super relatable, because I think when you first come into a polyamorous relationship and you're like the unicorn or stud or whatever, stallion, you're
the outside person.
You're the outside person.
Yeah.
You're the third party.
Yeah.
You come in and you're like, okay, this is the established relationship that's there, and you're there, and part of the reason that you work with the person that you're attracted to is that they have that other partner. Like, you come into it knowing that, and that's comfortable. When they start adding other people, that's when you're like, oh, is this a threat?
Exactly.
Is this going to take something away from me?
And it's also not even like in my brain that I think that, like, I'm like, I don't even see like me being replaced by this person, but it's like the primal reaction. You're just like no,
Yeah. You have like a physical reaction. I think some, maybe some people have an emotional or mental reaction first, but I think a lot of people have like a primary physical reaction.
That's
and
all it is
sounds
for
like
me. I don't even have any mental reaction to it. It's like, I mean, besides like certain boundaries and stuff, it's like it's like all physical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a big difference between, what we, cognitively just we can observe a situation, like the change in a situation like that, and kind of like have our ideals come first and forefront to the front of our brains of like, of course, I've embraced this lifestyle. I am fine with this. But your monkey body is like going, no. The monkey mind is almost like the inner addict. We're just sort of like good feeling addicts, that are just sort of like, I don't want that, like I like the things you make me feel. I feel good when I'm around you, so I don't want you threatened. I don't want to like lose my window with you and, have to share you with more people.
Yeah. And that's a valid concern. Like, losing time with someone is something that can happen, and that is absolutely a possibility when you start adding more people.
Another opportunity for selflessness and compersion. There's actually like a Buddhist nature to this whole thing. I'm just
Mother
figuring
Teresa.
out. I know, motherfucking Teresa, right here.
Teresa.
I'm enlightened.
There's Mother Teresa and there's Motherfucking Teresa.
That's right.
It's my
Totally
street
different,
name.
equally
Motherfucking
awesome.
Teresa.
So Zoe, how about you with jealousy? What are your thoughts on that?
So with my last relationship, I actually found myself wanting him to fall in love with someone else.
Oh.
And it's not that like I wanted to get rid of him and that would like make it easier. I just wanted him to be happy. And like he was totally against like the idea of him being with someone else and me being with someone else. So he was like on the complete opposite end. So I kind of found it hard to even hang out with my friends at the time. Like, I don't know, it was just so weird.
That's hard when you're like going into a relationship. You find yourself in a relationship. You accidentally co-create a relationship with someone who doesn't actually, what's the word? Well, just basically like have the same relationship ideals. And that even makes me want to ask you guys, so moving forward as you date and put yourselves out there, are you is that a prerequisite as you move forward in the dating world, like to only date people that hold the same like ethical priorities, relationship structures that you guys?
I mean, I imagine yes. I mean, it would be like, you mean like someone who's like a monogamous person being with a non-monogamous inclined person.
Yeah, like, would you only be like open to someone who's looking for the same kind of relationship structure, or are you, how do you feel about that?
I feel like yes, because it's like, it's just one of the things that like in a relationship you want to be aligned. It's like you want to have the same morals, you want to have the same beliefs or whatever, you want to have the same likes and dislikes. And I mean, not all the same, but to me that just kind of falls into the category of like, are you religious, are you whatever,
right? Compatible in that way. Yeah, I just commiserated a little bit with you, Zoe, because like the last person I dated who we were kind of forced into monogamy through COVID and quarantine,
Thanks, COVID.
He'd said like well, you can be polyamorous, but I
Yeah.
want to be polyamorous. And that's really complicated. I don't know if that really works out. I'm sure
But I'm not
someone's making it
judging.
work.
I'm totally not judging.
Or yeah,
But you are.
yeah. Or don't want to have
As
any
she shifts
influence
her
at all.
position.
Yeah.
I'm so not judging you.
Right.
Sips
Yeah.
aggressively.
Right.
I'm okay with you being polyamorous.
Go ahead, you whore. Go fuck everybody. I'll just sit here and whack off. Scarlet letter. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's one thing that I've experienced and that I've also like heard my dad second is like polyamory is easiest when everything is completely balanced, where it's like
Right.
when one person has a partner, the other person has a partner to balance it out.
Yeah.
And that I feel like can get complicated because it's like you can't always control when you're going to have another partner. It's not up to you. It's also up to the other person.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
Yeah.
especially as a male. I mean, really, I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry, but it is true. Like, as a woman, it's so much easier to be like, oh, I need a partner to balance it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like there is this inequity or it's just really out of balance.
Is
like,
that
as far
because
as
you have
dating
more
goes.
options? Is that why?
I think females have a lot more options.
There's
as
more
far as dating
options,
goes.
I
but
think
also
so, too.
shittier options in many cases.
Well, yeah, Zoe's snapping to that
Yes,
one. She's
sir.
like, yep, yeah, and that is true. You have to do a lot more sorting,
Shopping, yeah.
you know, through.
That's something so funny that I realized when I turned 18 and I like started using dating apps because like I started getting like 1 or 2 matches like a day and I was like, oh, this is just how it is. And then I hung out with my female friend who has Tinder and then it said 99 plus. And I was like,
Oh my god!
I was like, wait, is that a glitch? Like, what's going on? And she was like, no, this is how many matches I have. I was
No,
like,
that's
what the
reality.
fuck?
wow.
And so, like, as a guy, you have to know when you're on any dating app, it's not personal if someone doesn't see you. It's like they really can't
The
handle
whole
the
app
volume.
is designed
Yeah.
like a gambling slot machine. I mean, this is
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, you know, I hate to say things that I've already said on previous podcasts, but like,
It's okay.
I've heard that like men on Tinder, they just, is it swiping right or left? I don't know.
Right
I'm not-
is yes, left
Okay,
is no.
so they just sit there and swipe right because it increases the odds that they'll
You
they'll
have
get
to.
a date.
You can't. No, you
Yeah.
actually physically, unless you're like Brad Pitt or you pay a bunch of money,
Yeah, right.
like a
Yeah.
slot machine. You have
Yeah.
to swipe right.
Yeah.
You have to fill the limit because they limit you per
Oh.
day unless you pay. You have to
sure.
swipe
Oh,
right
man.
for as much as you possibly
Oh,
can
there's
to
a
actually
pressure.
have a conversation with somebody, and it just
Yeah.
reinforces for females because then it's like they just have everyone swiping on them.
Yeah, right. Well, and before I knew that, but the theory that I had in my head was that, you know, we have different biological, you know, incentives, you know, like or motivations where it's like, you know, men are on this planet and biology is saying, spread your seed,
Yeah,
just
right.
be a human sprinkler of jizz, get it all, yeah. And then women are here to be like, you know, I don't want to just like, you know, have to bear the children of
Yeah.
some inbred half-wit that I'm going to have to carry around like a skin tag for the rest of my life. I want someone who's going to be able to help support me when I'm older and work the field and, you know, be my, you know, strong, able-bodied, intelligent children. So we're discerning. You know, that's our you know, biological.
Oh yeah, it works when we're all monkeys.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about everything. It's like we weren't made for this. Like this is just not.
Shit's getting
fair.
weird.
Yeah.
Shit's definitely getting weird.
Shit's been weird.
Shit's been, it's true.
That's been like
It's
the
always
main
been-
thing on my mind recently. I hate to derail off of like,
Go for it.
but it's like
Squirrel,
I'll
please.
just be like driving in my car for like 45 minutes on the freeway, and I'm thinking like this was all built by like industrialists and like people who
Yeah.
have their motivations. Like this was not made by the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about how much of my surroundings are covered in concrete is like
Where's our
insane.
world?
Welcome to the concrete jungle, baby.
right?
Welcome
yeah.
to the jungle. Yeah, wait. Anyway, sorry. I won't go into that. I want to watch you bleed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Do we have any more questions?
Oh, do we have more questions?
Let's see.
I don't want to ask this in a way of like, are we wrapping up? But like, I don't know how long it was supposed to go. I want to keep going. I've
We have like
always
12,
wanted to be
we
on
have
a
like
podcast.
12 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Oh yeah.
loosey-goosey.
So actually, like you know, as we pan, you know, for questions, is there
pan.
anything
I've
that you
got
guys
some.
just wanted to like pansexual? If you wanted to just like, if there's anything that you really wanted to say, you know, coming here today, you know, I know that's a
You could ponder that while I ask a question.
Okay.
go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, ask a question. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a more directed
You
one.
have my
So
consent to ask
I
a
remember.
question.
Thank you. So I had this one partner, very funny man. And the first time that Zoe met him, she said,
That's the story that I wanted to share.
"Oh my God, okay, you tell it."
Go, Zoe,
Okay.
go. Yeah.
So my mom brought this man home, and the first time I saw him, like, I stepped out of my door. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you my new stepdad? Are you my new dad?"
Yeah, that was what you said.
I don't even. This was just at the old house.
It was just like a
in
year
Tigard?
ago. Just a no, just a year ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You walked out.
She was
and
kidding.
said- oh, you were kidding. That's why I
Was
wondered
I?
how old you were.
Yeah.
You were so kidding. And he was like super shocked for a second and
Yeah.
then busted out laughing because you started and I was dying. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, yes."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that's how a lot of people think of it, is that, like, you know, the kids are going to get all fucked up and confused, like, "Oh my God, are you dad number 4 or whatever," you know?
I mean,
and
look
it's like,
at me. Like,
yeah,
I'm already there.
yeah. And so, but you totally made a joke out of it and made it super comfortable and funny, like right off
Oh,
the bat.
cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that did remind me of a question that I thought of earlier, which was, again, I think one of the sort of like the one element of the potential social backlash has to do with people imagining children not having like a solid foundation and experiencing, you know, like a lack of attachment or stability in their lives. And one of the things that occurred to me is that, you know, in this mononormative conditioning that we have, that can create just as much instability because you end up only being able to create attachment and this stable home life, quote unquote, with one person at a time. But like, how many people do I know that their parents have been divorced and remarried like 3 times? So I'm curious, like, since your guys' parents' relationships opened up, did you end up actually feeling a certain amount, a new kind of like stability? And this is, I know it's a
Yes.
leading question, but you know, did you experience what I'm talking about, that roller coaster of like one home to the next home where, you know, you watch your parent trying to replicate this mononormative romantic fairy tale? And is this less, what's the word? Not obtrusive or unstable. I can't think of me. No, think of words. But yeah, I'll just let you answer. You get the idea. Monkey. Yeah. So,
Me?
yeah. I guess there, somewhere in all that monkey blabber, there was a question like,
Yeah.
have you found that since your parents became open about their polyamorous lifestyles, that it's less stable, more stable, or what's your experience in relationship to that?
I think for me, the feeling of stability had less to do with my dad being open or not, and more to do with like my parents getting divorced, because it was like, oh, now I have to go back and forth every week to a different house.
Right.
And that never really changed. Like that was more because of like clerical stuff of like at one point my dad had 2 houses that he was staying in, and we would go back and forth to 3 houses, and that wasn't anything to do with the open relationship. But no, I think it's funny because it's like there's a good half of the country that fully believes that yes, the nuclear family is the only option to keep people stable and to keep them away from crime or whatever. But then I hate to quote Ben Shapiro, but it's funny because he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I heard him say that he said basically that, but then he contradicted himself, as he often does, by saying like that there are several studies that suggest that, you know, a big factor in success with youth is not having a strong father figure, but how many father figures there are in a community in general.
Yeah.
And I think
good.
that
Hell
with
yeah.
polyamory can be a big, you know, part of that.
Oh
And
my God,
have you felt that you know you're instead of feeling like, oh, your, you know, original nuclear family was just broken and, you know, you're traumatized and things are less stable, have you felt that there are actually more caring parental figures coming into your life?
You know, I don't think that I've had any real new parental figures besides my stepmom.
Okay.
To me, I kind of view it more as like there's just, you know, it's like the family friends are coming. It's like, you know, kind of the same thing as how it would be an equivalent of like a suburban household. It's like, oh, the whatever the Smiths are coming over for dinner tonight. You know, it's just like just fun people to hang around with.
Right. They're just staying a little later than they used to. That's it.
And for some reason, they all throw their keys into a big bowl.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah.
How about you, Zoe?
Well, I honestly find it really cool, like, banging off of what Ethan said, like, meeting so many different kinds of people. It really, like, it helps release the stress of having your, like, one identity, like, because when you're around all the same people, like, all the time, you're like, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that it helps you kind of explore the idea that there's more than one way to be a human?
Yes. Oh my God, completely. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
awesome.
Well,
I was
and maybe
hoping I was
being-
reading
Glad you
between
picked
the
up.
lines.
Maybe
Yeah.
being an ADD monkey, you know, if I can like feel into what I think you're saying, is that it's also maybe nice to have just more influences coming in and out of your life. That kind of, you know,
Totally.
mononormative nuclear family can get a little stifling and boring. And so now that you have different influences coming in and out of your life, it just allows you to be more open and explorative.
Yeah.
Projecting
exactly.
probably, but yeah,
Yeah.
take it. Ding ding ding.
And it allows you to see the pros and cons of every
Yeah.
type of personality or person or whatever.
For sure.
Because everybody does have those. Like, there isn't one ideal human. So it's like, this allows you to be like, oh, yes, when I see this type A personality, pro, con, yes. And
Yeah.
it does give you like a wide sampling. And it's almost like the community raising the child, like the whole it takes a village thing. Like, you do get a little bit more into that mentality. Do we have more questions? see
Okay,
you looking
I
at your
do
phone.
see another question. It's like a question for Zoe.
Good job, Zoe.
Question for Zomo. Because you're not dating anymore, do you plan on seeing your friends again? What?
I think you might have
Is this a dig?
a jilted friend.
Oh,
out there,
is this an
dude.
ex of yours? I'm outing you.
No.
Oh,
Oh my God.
someone
Yes.
got their wee hurt.
Yeah.
For sure. Now,
right.
especially since I moved,
Uh-huh.
like I need to force myself to get out of the house.
Well, and part of it is, hey, you know, if you're really her friend that wants her to see her friends again, drive your ass out to where she lives, mofo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, get out there.
Literally.
How much
Hang
of a
out
friend
at the
are you?
river, man.
Yeah. Put some gas in your
Shitty
tank.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll pre-read the questions next time. That one was not so constructive. I won't say your name, but I see you. I
Yeah.
see you.
And if
We're
you don't
looking
have
at
your
you.
license, you lazy little shit, go get it.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of Gen Zers not having driver's licenses.
I
I'm
know
just
who you're
gonna say
talking
that.
about when you said go get your license.
I'm talking about so many people.
Oh.
You-
None
I
of
thought you were
my
talking about
friends have
someone
license.
specific.
Oh no,
None
she
of
has
them.
like almost no
I'm the
friends that
only
drive.
person
It's
that can drive.
Crazy. I
I
can't
got it
believe
as soon as
Sucks.
I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, me too.
Like the day of my birthday, I took my test.
You did. It's true.
Yeah.
So proud.
You're an
So
eager
proud.
beaver.
She's
Just
a
like
very
our song.
independent girl.
Right.
Self do it.
Yes.
100%
For life.
Yeah.
Self do it for life.
That was actually, yes, one of your childhood quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self do it.
I was all into this
do
like
it.
I was into this like empowered parenting thing where I was like, every child needs to be given a choice, even if it's not really a choice. I'd be like, okay, we're gonna get in the car now. Do you want me to buckle your seatbelt, or would you like to buckle it yourself? And Zoe every time would be like, self do it, self do it.
Why do you make me sound so old?
Well, I'm like, yeah.
She was smoking 3 packs a day when she was
Right.
out.
Actually,
Yeah.
you sounded just
He
like
came out of
the.
the womb smoking a cigarette. I'm in charge here, bitches. Self do it.
Self do it. She sounded. You made her sound like the little kid on The Shining. Red rum.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is
actually
not
scary.
inaccurate.
Yeah. Right.
My feelings.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just checking. All right, no more questions. We got
That's
2 minutes.
awesome. 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh my
was
God.
there anything else you
So
guys
a
wanted to
question Teresa
say?
asked about, do you have one overarching message you would like to get out to the world? I think you each have 1 minute.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it were to be something on the topic of polyamory, I think one thing that people often think is like that people who are polyamorous are on like team polyamory versus, you know, team monogamy. And I think it's like one thing that being in this world has opened me up to the most is like, it's just like everything's about what works for you. It's like not, it's like there's nothing against the nuclear family because that works really well for a lot of people.
Right.
It's very stable. I mean, there's pros to that.
Yeah.
It's not like everything's a fraud and everything we were taught was wrong.
Yeah,
It's like-
everyone should be poly.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. It's
Good
just
point. I agree
yeah.
with this. I want to say that on every podcast too.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah.
That's
Very
my
well
message.
said. Great point.
I love
Great
it.
message.
I
I love
love
it.
it.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
clapping.
Yay,
Yes.
we've got the clap.
We got the
Oh,
clap.
I'm sorry.
We got the clap.
I was spacing out.
I know you were thinking like, shit. What the hell am I gonna say?
Oh,
You could-
I have it planned.
Okay, go.
By
Go,
far,
go, go.
not to one up you or anything, but
Do it.
love yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, accept yourself.
She's
love
pursuing a new rap career, by
Yeah.
the way, everybody. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
DJ Meat Sleeve.
Oh my
Beats.
God. Can you please do that?
Yeah, I love
Um,
it.
So I guess we should do the whole thing where we say you can find us at Talkcast PDX.
Talk cock? What?
Talk, hot cock, hot cock,
Talk,
hot
talk,
cock.
I mean cock,
my
talk,
God.
I mean cock, talk, I mean cock, talk, I
Yeah.
mean cock, talk, I mean cock, talk, podcast PDX.
It's pretty good too.
Yes.
You guys should team up with your rap career. I like this. I like it.
We are
Donkey
called
balls
Was
and
That
Meat
an
Sleeve.
Orgy? That is the name of this podcast.
Was it?
It wasn't this time.
All right, that's it. We ran out of our
I
time to
hope
say
it wasn't,
dick
by
like
the
shit
way.
or balls. Bye,
Lord,
everybody.
that's awkward.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Eager beaver, baby. Well, what are you gonna do with this eager beaver, baby of mine? Yeah. Beside you, no matter where you stop. Yeah, get the shit off my head. Now, eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby.